Hello, friends. It's Jay, and I'm back. I've never been so back, if I'm being honest. Apologies for my super long and super unplanned hiatus. Life has been lifing. Life has been lifing in a way that it has never lifed before. But I digress. I'm back. I've never been so back. I'm back in a big way, and I am excited. I am, dare I say, fucking stoked about this new moon in Cancer that is coming up this week. I love a new moon in Cancer. It's always a good one. But this year, this year, Jupiter is there too. So if you've been following astrology without me, which I hope you have, you don't need me. Go have fun with other astrologers too, right? But if you've been following astrology, you'll know that Jupiter just recently moved into Cancer. And you might also know that this is one hell of a transit. It only happens once every 12 years, and it is very auspicious, very lucky, very beautiful, very bountiful, very abundant. Jupiter loves being in Cancer. It is the place of its exaltation, which means it is raised up. It is a VIP while it is in Cancer. It has the ability to do Jupiter things in Jupiter ways like it's never Jupitered before. Okay. It's really, really fabulous astrology. And this new moon in Cancer is like, it's like the sun and the moon are kissing Jupiter while this new moon happens. So, friends, lovers, everything in between, I am begging you, if you work with one new moon this year, if you start anything new this year, if you decide to plant seeds for your future or whatever little cliche thing, it's not cliche, but you know what I mean. If you work with any astrological energy this year, this is it. All right, so like, why is it so good? Well, the Cancer new moon every year is typically a really beneficial and supportive new moon, as long as there's nothing like funky happening in the cosmos that's sort of preventing it from being its best self. But the Cancer new moon is this very special happening where the ruler of the new moon itself, or like the planetary host, the planetary guide for the moon, is the moon itself, because the moon rules Cancer. So when it's in Cancer, it's in its own domicile, it's in its own home, it is feeling itself. It can be its most moony self in Cancer. So usually, like, par exemple, when we're looking at like a new moon in Gemini, we need to also look to Mercury to get further context for the story. And Mercury might be in good condition, it might be in kind of rough condition, but anytime the moon is in Cancer, is beautiful, babe. So this is always a really helpful, really supportive new moon. But this year, like I said, we've got Jupiter right there. And we already know that Jupiter loves to be in Cancer. So we've got this like double whammy of good times, good fun, good joy, good abundance all around. Now, this new moon is happening on June 25th at 6:31 a.m. Eastern, and it happens at 4 degrees of Cancer, and Jupiter is just at 3 degrees of Cancer. So they really are all in this little huddle, this little, oh my God, it's like a cuddle. It truly is a little cuddle in Cancer. They're all cuddling in Cancer, and it's so beautiful, and it's so nourishing, and it's so sweet. And I just think that any new beginning, any fresh start we choose, any like, turning the page for the new chapter, whatever we decide to begin under the energy of this full moon, new moon, has Jupiter's blessing, has Jupiter's protection, has this little seal of approval. It is giving, yes, this is possible. Please go for it. This is the new moon to say yes to the quest. Okay, let's back up for a minute. Let's rewind and talk about Jupiter so that we can understand why this new moon has so much abundance, so much support to it. And that's because Jupiter is what's known as the greater benefic. So we've got the lesser benefic in Venus and the greater benefic in Jupiter, but both planets are very supportive, very, they say yes to life. They say yes to joy. They say yes to all things that feel good and make us feel good, and, positive thoughts, positive energy. Yeah, I mean, I guess they can be a little toxic sometimes, right? Too much of a good thing, toxic positivity. But right now, with Jupiter in such good condition in Cancer, it's the best kind of positivity. It's the kind of positivity that makes you see like, oh shit, that is possible. And that's awesome. That's really, really great. That's the win I needed. So, Jupiter, it's about luck, it's about abundance, it's about generosity because when you have an abundance of things, it's easier to be generous, right? And like abundance is kind of a mindset. I don't mean to be all like secret on you, but like abundance is a mindset. So, if we can shift and see, like, oh, I actually have a lot of that to give, we can be generous with it. But Jupiter is also about faith, hope, belief. It is about the bigger picture. It is about being expansive or looking to be expansive, looking for opportunities for growth. It's about philosophies and wisdom. It's also about like people that can offer that to you. So, like guides and mentors and philosophers. And it's about opening your worldview, looking at the bigger picture, seeing that there is more than just you in this story. I mean, like, we all have main character energy, right? But Jupiter's like, look, there's a lot more going on. And isn't that fabulous? Because we can rely on each other. Like, we can create this community where we can support each other and resource each other. And, like, it's so beautiful. Jupiter also speaks to meaning and purpose, and that's kind of that bigger picture vibe idea. Like, what is it all for? What is it all about? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? And it's not about like productivity, but it's about like, why am I here? And what do I want to do with that gift of being here? So, not only does this new moon have Jupiter on its side, rooting for it, boosting it, giving its protection, giving it its blessing, there's no harsh aspects to this new moon. What do I mean by that? Well, Saturn and Mars, which are kind of like the opposite, let's say, of Jupiter and Venus, neither of them are impacting this new moon in any way that would prevent it or would limit it or would put kind of like a roadblock up. The sun and the moon are coming off of a square with Saturn, but they're moving away from it. So that's kind of like we are moving away from something difficult towards something really positive, really beneficial, really helpful. And the moon and the sun will be interacting with Mars, but by a sextile, which is a super cooperative, super helpful, super fucking cute aspect. I love a sextile. What comes after this new moon is this little boost of like, hell yeah, I do got this. Here's the energy that I need to actually carry out my intentions, these new beginnings that I want to open up to. That's a thing too. I think we need to be open to receiving what this new moon is bringing our way because maybe we don't know what we want to start. Maybe we have no fucking clue what this new beginning is. That's okay. We don't need to know, but we could be open to the inklings, to the little hits of intuition, to the signs from the universe, because they are there. I don't care how cliche or corny or hokey it is. The universe is trying to tell you something, like at all fucking times. The things that are meant for you are trying to find you so hard. And if you just open up to them, whew, sometimes it's pretty wild. And I think this is the new moon that is going to be really supportive of opening up to those possibilities, of believing in legit anything. Okay, like legitimately anything, opening ourselves up to the possibility of the possibility. Jupiter is hope, faith, belief. Cancer is this empathetic, compassionate, super tender, super sensitive, super feeling sign where I think if we just dive down deep into all of those feelings, into like what's really in our gut, and just think like, yeah, I think that is possible. I think there's a big win here. I mean, it doesn't come on the 25th. It maybe doesn't even arrive on the 26th or the 27th or even next month. But if we plant the seeds now, it is going to turn up at some point. Like, you don't plant something and then immediately harvest, right? Like, you have to put in the work. But it's just that the seeds that we plant now have this, like, beautiful, rich protection around them. But it is about possibility. And I would like to read you a poem. I'm a poetry guy now, okay? I went away, I came back. Like I said, I've never been more back, but I am a poetry guy now. My best friend says that I'm probably going through my emo goth phase because I read poetry and cry, and I'm here for it. I want to talk about crying in a minute too. But for now, I'm going to talk about The World I Live In by Mary Oliver. I have refused to live, locked in the orderly house of reasons and proofs. The world I live in and believe in is wider than that. And anyway, what's wrong with maybe? You wouldn't believe what once or twice I have seen. I'll just tell you this. Only if there are angels in your head will you ever possibly see one. Okay, louder for those in the back. Only if there are angels in your head will you ever possibly see one. Okay. Mary Oliver is obviously the GOAT. The idea that we have to believe in something first before it can happen, I think is super important. And I think it has a lot, I think we can use that to our advantage for this new moon. New starts aren't always easy. We romanticize fresh starts a lot because they seem so fantastic. Isn't it awesome to wipe the slate clean and just restart? But that's not easy because we have lives, because we're humans, because we have all of this baggage. We have a past. We're not just wiping our brains and, oh my God, we get to be new again. It just doesn't happen that way. Fresh starts aren't always easy. But if we believe that there is something else out there for us, if we believe whatever big vision we have for ourselves, whatever thing we've been dreaming about is possible, that's the first step. So maybe that's the new moon intention. Maybe that's all that it is. Maybe that's all you do on the 25th is you just sit down and you internalize, this is possible. Write it down. Say, this is possible. I think that's the first step. Okay, so I don't want to talk about crying now. I want to talk about crying. Here's the other thing about Jupiter and Cancer that I want us all to look out for, and it might be especially potent on the new moon because a new moon is very introspective. There's no light in the sky, right? So the new moon, not a time for a lot of action. It's a time to, again, plant those seeds. It's what's happening underground. It's what's happening inside, especially in a sign like Cancer that is so internal, that is so there's a lot of emotional depth to Cancer. And then we're going to amplify all of that with Jupiter being there. Whatever Jupiter touches, it amplifies. Sometimes that's fabulous. Sometimes that's like, holy shit, I'm so overwhelmed. And that could be the case with Jupiter in Cancer in general. And again, maybe just a little more potent at the new moon because everything feels really internalized and like kind of overwhelming. So for those of us that are not used to always dealing with our feelings, because surprise, bitch, we all have feelings, okay? Every single one of us has feelings. It doesn't matter how deep we've buried them down, they're there, okay? And they're gonna come up eventually. For those of us that aren't as used to dealing with those feelings, it might be a lot. It might be a lot. These next 12 months might be an absolute handful. I think we're gonna cry a lot. I think it's just gonna happen. Maybe I'm projecting, but maybe it's my natal Cancer moon talking. But I just think we're going to have a lot of emotions, and I don't want people to be alarmed. It's Jupiter, and it's amplifying this very emotional, very tender, very sensitive sign. I think we need to lean into it. I think we need to use this as an opportunity. Maybe this is part of your new moon intention, that these next 12 months is about expanding our capacity for love, deepening our depths, growing our depths, expanding our depths. I don't know. Let's be more loving. Let's be more caring. Let's be more empathetic. Let's do it to the extreme because let's face it, the world needs a lot of love right now. And sidebar, anything I'm saying today is not meant to be like your astrological permission to just like spiritually bypass or like ignore all the fucked up shit that's happening in the world. Absolutely not. Use astrology to be better. Use astrology to be more empathetic and aware and involved in your community and in the world and in what's going on around you. Don't use it to escape that. The world is full of problems and it's burning, and we need the waters of Cancer and the love and the compassion and just all of that to fix it. And I know that's not going to fix it. I know we need other things, but it's a start. If we could just love each other more, that'd be great, right? So let's not see this as, oh my God, my heart feels so heavy. Oh my God, like what are all these feelings? Let's see it as like, oh, isn't that incredible that I have that capacity for love? What an absolute gift I've been given to have this empathy, to have this care, to be able to nourish and protect and love my fellow human, whether that's your family, whether that's your friends, whether that's your community, whatever it is. Like, let's just open our hearts. Let's expand our hearts. We need to talk about the houses in your birth chart because that's how you make this new moon really special and really specific for you. That's how you make this astrology come alive. With anything in astrology, you always have to root it back to your own natal chart so you know where it's happening in your life, or you know where it has the potential to come alive in your actual lived experience. So let's really quickly go over the houses, okay? So if Cancer is your first house, you're a Cancer rising, you're a Cancer ascendant, you know feelings, you get it. I mean, I guess it depends on where your natal moon is, but if you're a Cancer rising, the Jupiter transit and this new moon, it's focused on you, baby. Like it is your essence, it's your appearance, it is your personality, it is how you move through the world. It's not a mask. It is not a mask. It is you. It is everything that is you. The rest of the chart, it's other shit. But the first house, it's you. The second house is a lot about money and material resources, material goods, your physical stuff, right? It can even be about food, but on kind of a deeper level, I would say it is about value and what we value and why we value it and how we value it, how we show that. Like what you spend your money on shows kind of what you value, right? So it's all that kind of thing. The third house, what a smorgasbord. We've got siblings, neighbors, your neighborhood, communication, writing, your daily transits and trips. So it's kind of like your regularly scheduled program in a way, like the websites you visit every day, the maybe even the foods you eat every day, or like your routines, right? Your rituals and routines is the third house. Fourth house is all about your home, your living situation. So maybe even the people that you live with. It's about your family, it's about your ancestry, and yeah, any property that you might own as well. The fifth house, so sexy, one of my faves. It is about sex. It is about pleasure. It is about kind of the good fortune that we receive through the physical body. So it's about being creative. It's about having fun and playing and hobbies and crafts. And it is about dating and sex. It's even about children because those are creations, right? And so there's a little bit of like inner child energy in the fifth house. Sixth house, kind of the opposite. It's kind of the not so great pleasure, not not so great pleasure. No, it is not pleasure. It is injury, illness. It is kind of just the shit that we have to do to stay alive, to live through the day. It's chores. It also includes our pets because we love them, but we have to walk them. We have to feed them. We have to tend to them every single day. If you're an employer, it could be your employees. It might be your coworkers. It could just be your job in general. It's just kind of life. It's lifing. The seventh house, that is your one-on-one part. Rude. The seventh house is your one-on-one relationships. It is contracts. So it's like romantic relationships, business partners. It could be, if you're married, it could be your husband or your wife or your whoever. It's also people that, sorry, don't like you and work against you and you know it. Like these are people that actively work against you and you can see that they're doing it. So I guess at least you can see that they're doing it. But that's part of that house. Anyways, eighth house. This is about our shared resources. So it's across the axis from that second house, which is all about our internal resources or our physical, our own money, our own physical goods. The eighth house is the stuff that we share. It's the resources that we get through the relationships we're in. It's also taxes and death. The ninth house, the place of God, the place of spirituality, the place of higher education, higher learning, of expansiveness, of travel, of publishing, of astrology. The 10th house is career, public reputation, any titles that you have. So sometimes even marriage will show up in the 10th house because that is an external title that you have. That is how you are seen in the world to an extent. Responsibilities, obligations, stuff like that. All right, the 11th house. Now, if Jupiter's moving through this house in your chart, this is extra special. Jupiter loves being in the 11th house because this is a place of, we had the 5th house was the physical fortune, so the physical pleasures of like being in a body. The 11th house is the pleasure that we have from a more spiritual or a more mental experience. So it is, the joy that we get from being in community. The 11th house is a lot about friendships, communities, groups, networking, social situations. It's the house of parties. Like it is just this place of spiritual fortune. And it is also hope and faith and belief. And then, for every yin, there is a yang. And so we have to have the 12th house, which is kind of the direct opposite of the 11th house. So it's kind of where we see the more difficult sides of having a brain, of having a spirit. It is isolation, it's separation, it is melancholy and loneliness. It's kind of like mental anguish in a way, but it's retreat, it's solitude, it is finding quiet places, quiet, dark places to be. Now, if Jupiter is moving through your 12th house, this is kind of great because it maybe means that if there is a period of isolation or if there's something difficult that you're moving through, Jupiter's bringing its blessing there. So it's kind of like if there's an illness, you're going to find the right medication, or you're going to have better access to the medication, or the right teacher will come along at the right moment to give you the exact advice that you need to be able to overcome some sort of hurdle. I don't know why I went so deep with the 12th house. I am kind of a 12th house guy. You know what else I am? I'm kind of a poetry guy. I did mention this already, but I have started reading poetry and I'm pretty into it. And I do want to leave you with one more poem before we wrap up for this video. It's a poem that I think speaks to both Jupiter and to Cancer. Maybe more so to Cancer. We'll see when I read it. But think about with Cancer, the animal that is associated with it. It's the crab. So it's got this like hard ass outer shell, right? Which is good because we need protection. We need boundaries. We need those defenses in order to protect what is vulnerable, to protect what is tender and what is raw and what needs protecting, right? Like it's how we protect life, by creating certain boundaries and by having certain things in place that say, no, I will not allow that line to be crossed because that disrupts my internal integrity, or that doesn't align with me, or that puts me in danger. Whatever. We need protections. Yes, we need those hard outer shells sometimes. Because especially if you think what's on the inside of that shell, it's tender as hell. It's sensitive as hell, right? One poke and oof, it's not good. So we need that. But I think every so often we need to shed the shell a little bit, soften the shell a little bit, because otherwise we're too hardened. Otherwise we don't feel those raw, vulnerable, and frankly powerful feelings. Or we don't see the possibility of possibility if we are so hidden under that shell, if we are not open enough to what might hurt, but like in the long run, the hurt means we're alive and it means that we are living. So this poem is by Andrea Gibson and it is from Take Me With You. No title, but here we go. I wonder how much of my time I spend building bomb shelters to keep this life from blowing my mind. I'm telling you, if you've never read poetry, you've got to get into it because it's mind-blowing like that, right? So I just think with this theme of being open to possibilities, being open to seeing that there is something else available, something else out there for us, that the big dream, the big picture, the big vision, it is possible. We just have to see it. We have to believe it. We have to nurture it and nourish it. And not just within ourselves, but within other people too. Cancer's about community. Cancer's about family. Let's pump each other up. Let's show each other how this world can blow our minds. Let's blow each other's minds. Let's have a good new moon. If you're having a boring new moon, you're having a boring life. 10 points to anybody who gets that reference. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been very loosey-goosey. We'll see how people like it. I liked it. I'm rambling. That's what I do when I don't have a script. Anyways, wishing you all the best new moon. Wishing you all the best 12 months of Jupiter in Cancer. Take advantage of it and be kind to each other. Please just be kind to each other. All right. Peace out. I don't know why I said that. See you later.